As people approach their 80s, many notice a subtle but persistent decline in vitality, even among those who were active, sharp, and engaged just a few years earlier. This fading energy often feels like an inevitable part of aging, but the truth is far more complex. While genetics and luck play a role, they don't tell the whole story of why so many struggle to thrive past 80. In this article, we'll dive into 5 surprising, often overlooked factors that quietly erode health and longevity in older adults. These aren't the familiar culprits like unhealthy diets, smoking, or sedentary lifestyles. Instead, they're subtle, insidious elements that can affect even those who've lived thoughtfully and taken good care of themselves. The encouraging news? Once you understand these factors, you can take meaningful steps to counteract them. If you've ever wondered what truly stands in the way of a long, fulfilling life after 80, or how to protect your vitality while you still have time, this exploration is for you. These 5 insights could redefine how you approach aging, offering practical ways to live not just longer, but better. Let's get started. 1. The quiet disappearance of everyday social interactions. One of the most underappreciated reasons many older adults struggle past 80 is the gradual erosion of everyday social interactions, those brief, seemingly insignificant moments of connection that once peppered daily life. These aren't deep bonds like close friendships or family relationships, though those remain crucial. Instead, they're the casual exchanges that happen naturally, a quick chat with the cashier at the corner store, a wave to a neighbor tending their roses, or a friendly nod to someone at the bus stop. These fleeting interactions may feel trivial, but they serve a profound purpose. They regulate the nervous system, reinforce a sense of belonging, and keep the brain's social circuits active and sharp. For many, these moments dwindle after 80. Mobility challenges might lead to fewer trips to the grocery store, with online deliveries taking their place. Hearing loss or self-consciousness can make small talk feel daunting, so people withdraw from casual conversations. Harsh weather, unsteady footing, or a reluctance to navigate crowded spaces might keep someone indoors, further isolating them from the world. Over time, these micro-connections fade, and with them goes a vital source of emotional and neurological nourishment. Most don't even notice it happening, they assume they're just streamlining their lives or adapting to new limitations. But the absence of these interactions creates a void. Research shows that social isolation, even in its subtlest forms, acts like a chronic stressor on the body. It disrupts hormone balance, increases inflammation, and weakens the immune system. More critically, it impacts the brain, shrinking the neural networks responsible for memory, attention, and emotional resilience. This can make someone feel older, faster, without an obvious cause. I've seen this firsthand with individuals in their 80s who stayed remarkably alert simply by maintaining small daily rituals, like visiting the same bakery each morning, exchanging pleasantries with the staff, and greeting familiar faces along the way. Those brief encounters gave their days structure, purpose, and a sense of being seen. The solution doesn't require grand gestures. Even small efforts, like striking up a conversation with a delivery person, smiling at someone in the park, or calling a neighbor to check in, can rekindle these connections. If you found yourself retreating from these moments, whether due to physical limitations or a sense of invisibility, it's time to push back. These tiny interactions are like sparks that keep your brain and body engaged, signaling that you're still an active part of the world. By nurturing them, you're not just staying social, you're investing in a longer, more vibrant life. 2. Excessive caution leading to physical inactivity. Another hidden factor that undermines longevity past 80 is the shift from reasonable caution to an overly protective avoidance of physical activity. This often begins with a well-meaning response to a minor incident, a stumble on a loose rug, a moment of dizziness, or a twinge of joint pain. To prevent injury, someone might decide to avoid walking on uneven sidewalks, climbing stairs, or even bending to pick up objects. Family and friends often reinforce this mindset, urging them to take it easy or not push too hard. While the intention is to stay safe, this approach can backfire, setting off a slow but steady decline. The human body is designed for movement, and even in later years, it relies on regular activity to maintain strength, balance, and coordination. When movement becomes limited, muscles weaken, particularly the core muscles that stabilize the torso and support nearly every physical task, from standing up to walking. Within weeks of reduced activity, these muscles begin to atrophy, compromising balance and increasing the risk of falls. This creates a vicious cycle. Fear of falling leads to less movement, which leads to weaker muscles and poorer balance, making falls more likely. Take the example of John, an 82-year-old who stopped his daily evening strolls after slipping on wet leaves. He wasn't injured, but the scare was enough to keep him indoors. Within 6 months, he noticed his legs felt unsteady, and simple tasks like getting out of a chair became challenging. His decline wasn't inevitable, it stemmed from the decision to stop moving. Inactivity doesn't just weaken the body, it also dulls the brain, reducing the stimulation that keeps cognitive functions sharp. This isn't to dismiss legitimate risks. Safety measures like using handrails, wearing sturdy shoes, clearing cluttered pathways, or even using a cane can make a difference. But there's a critical distinction between managing risks intelligently and letting fear dictate your life. When caution becomes paralysis, the body loses its ability to function dynamically, and the spirit can follow suit. If you've been cutting back on activity, not because you're physically unable but because you're worried about what might happen, it's time to reassess. Ask yourself, am I protecting my health, or am I unintentionally limiting my life? Living vibrantly past 80 means continuing to move, even if it's slower, more cautious, or supported by tools. Simple actions like short walks, gentle stretches, or standing up to water plants can keep your body engaged. Movement isn't just exercise, it's a declaration that your body still matters, keeping your muscles, brain, and heart active with purpose. 3. Disrupted sleep rhythms from poor light exposure. Deep within your body lies an internal clock that orchestrates nearly every aspect of health, mood, metabolism, immune function, and the brain's ability to repair itself during sleep. Known as the circadian rhythm, this clock becomes increasingly fragile after 80, and one of the biggest threats to its stability is irregular exposure to light. Too little natural light during the day and too much artificial light at night can throw this delicate system into disarray, with far-reaching consequences. Many older adults spend more time indoors, especially during colder or rainy seasons, missing the bright morning sunlight that signals the brain to wake up, boost energy, and regulate bodily functions. At the same time, evenings filled with glowing screens, televisions, tablets, or smartphones, or bright household lights disrupt the body's cue to produce melatonin, the hormone that facilitates deep, restorative sleep. These habits may seem harmless, but they confuse the body's sense of day and night, leading to fragmented sleep patterns. The effects are more than just feeling tired. Poor sleep can make it harder to fall asleep, stay asleep, or wake up refreshed. Daytime fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and even mood swings can follow. Over time, chronic sleep disruption weakens the immune system, destabilizes emotional health, and increases the risk of cognitive decline. Additionally, limited sunlight exposure reduces the body's production of vitamin D, which is essential for strong bones, healthy muscles, and a robust immune system. As the skin's ability to synthesize vitamin D declines with age, regular outdoor time becomes even more critical. Consider Sarah, an 84-year-old who felt increasingly lethargic and forgetful despite no major health changes. Her doctor discovered she rarely left her apartment and kept lights on late while watching TV. By spending 20 minutes each morning on her porch and turning off screens an hour before bed, Sarah noticed her sleep quality, energy, and mental clarity improve within weeks. The change wasn't a new medication, it was simply restoring her body's natural rhythm through light. If you've been spending most of your time indoors with blinds drawn or staying up late with bright lights and screens, it's time to make adjustments. Aim to get outside within an hour of waking, even if it's just sitting on a balcony or near an open window to absorb natural light. In the evening, dim the lights and limit screen time to help your body prepare for rest. These small shifts realign your circadian rhythm, telling your body it's still in tune with the world. Good sleep isn't just rest, it's a cornerstone of longevity, keeping your mind sharp and your body resilient. 4. Unresolved emotional burdens from loss and isolation. By their 80s, most people have endured significant losses: a spouse, a sibling, a cherished friend, or even a child. While society may offer condolences, what's often overlooked is how these losses accumulate, not just in the heart but in the body. After 80, many don't just experience grief, they suppress it, bottling up pain because they feel they should be resilient or because they lack someone who truly understands. This emotional restraint, though subtle, can have profound physical consequences. Unprocessed emotions don't simply fade away, they become stored in the body, manifesting as chronic tension, disrupted sleep, or weakened immunity. Suppressed grief or loneliness can alter hormone levels, impair digestion, and keep the nervous system in a state of quiet distress. On the outside, someone might appear composed, even content, but inwardly, they may feel a heaviness, a shallower breath, or a dimming of their inner light. These signs often go unnoticed, but they point to emotional weight that hasn't been released. I recall meeting Evelyn, an 86-year-old who lost her partner of 60 years. She insisted she was fine, but over the next year, she stopped attending her book club, lost weight, and struggled with restless nights. Her health hadn't deteriorated, but her body was carrying unspoken sorrow. Emotional pain doesn't need to be dramatic to cause harm, and its impact on health can be hard to trace. What enables some to thrive past 80 isn't just physical strength, it's emotional freedom. Having a safe outlet to express feelings, whether through a trusted friend, a journal, a support group, or a therapist, allows the heart to heal. Simply voicing, "I feel alone," or "I still miss them," can lift a weight that's been silently dragging someone down. Those who live longest often have ways to process their emotions, whether through faith, creative expression, or honest conversations. This emotional release lets the body recover, restoring energy and resilience. If you've been holding back pain, not because you want to, but because you don't know where to turn, it's time to create space for it. This isn't just about feeling better emotionally, it's about safeguarding your physical health. The heart can only bear so much before it begins to withdraw. To live vibrantly past 80, you must give yourself permission to feel, to grieve, and to heal. Your body will thank you for it. 5. The slow erosion of daily purpose. Perhaps the most invisible factor limiting life past 80 is the gradual loss of daily purpose, not lofty ambitions or grand life missions, but the simple, everyday reasons to get out of bed. Purpose can be as modest as brewing a cup of tea to share with a neighbor, feeding a backyard squirrel, or writing a note to a grandchild. These small acts give days texture, meaning, and momentum. But when they slip away, life can start to feel formless, and something vital begins to fade. This erosion often happens so slowly it's easy to miss. A weekly knitting circle might disband, a gardening hobby might end due to arthritis, or family visits might taper off as loved ones grow busy. Someone might tell themselves it's just part of getting older, but the absence of purpose sends a subtle message to the body: it's no longer needed. Appetite may wane, movement slows, and the systems that regulate health, like metabolism and immune function, begin to quiet, not because they're broken, but because they lack a reason to stay active. I met a woman named Alice, 89, who seemed more alive than many half her age. Despite mobility challenges, she maintained a daily routine. Every morning, she wrote a gratitude list, tended to her window herbs, and called a different friend each afternoon. These small acts weren't glamorous, but they gave her days rhythm and her heart a reason to keep going. Purpose, even in its humblest form, acts like fuel for the body, signaling cells to repair, organs to function, and the brain to stay curious. Without it, the body senses its relevance fading, and the spark dims. Those who thrive past 80 often have something anchoring their days: a pet to care for, a craft to perfect, a ritual that grounds them. It's not about the scale of the purpose but its consistency, the knowledge that each morning brings a reason to rise. If your days have started to blend together, lacking the structure or meaning they once had, don't ignore it. That's your body asking for purpose again. Start small, commit to a daily walk, a phone call with a loved one, or a task that brings joy. These acts rekindle the flame, telling your body it's still needed. Longevity isn't just about a beating heart, it's about a heart that yearns to keep beating, fueled by the quiet desire to stay connected, relevant, and alive. As we close, let's hold on to a simple yet profound truth: the decline many experience after 80 isn't the result of a single event, a diagnosis, an accident, or a milestone. It's the slow, almost imperceptible fading of habits, rhythms, and reasons to stay engaged with life. These changes are so gradual that they often go unnoticed until a sense of vitality feels out of reach. But here's the empowering reality: just as these shifts happen slowly, they can be reversed slowly. One walk in the fresh air, one kind word to a stranger, one small act of purpose today can begin to turn the tide. Take a moment to reflect on these 5 factors. Which one caught you off guard? Which feels like it hits close to home? Most importantly, which are you ready to address, even in a tiny way, starting now? You have more power than you might realize, not to stop aging, but to shape how you age. By staying attuned to these subtle shifts, nurturing your daily rhythms, preserving your sense of purpose, and honoring your emotions, you can do more than just reach 80. You can live beyond it, fully, deeply, and on your own terms. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share one insight you gained from this article and how you plan to weave it into your life. Your reflections inspire us to keep creating content that informs, uplifts, and empowers. If you found this exploration valuable, please like, subscribe, and share. It helps us reach others with ideas that can make a difference. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to connecting with you again soon.